much so that I can't eat or slumber. Can you imagine anything dumber? Why did I have to plan a vacation in Havana? Why did I take that trip that made me lose my grip? Oh, that piece of music laid me low. There it goes again, just another rumba, which I heard only last September. I'm a wreck. Why did I have to succumb? Can you imagine anything dumber? Why did I have to succumb to that rumba? I'm the cucaracha who just went blah and gave up swinging hacha. At first it was divine, but it turned out a Cuban Frankenstein. It's got me by the corona. Oh, what's the antidote? It brought me a moment's strife. It made me lose my wife. It's the rumba that brightened my life. There it goes again, just another rumba, which has got me under its thumb. So much so that I can't eat or slumber. Can you imagine anything dumber? Why did I have to succumb to that rumba?
Boy. I mean, you have got voices. It's really something above. It's incredible. So you call yourself a Mets or what?
Soprano.
So, look, I mean, it's so beautifully sung and it's so well sung and it's Gershwin, and you are absolutely entitled to sing it just that way, right? You don't have to do anything differently. Gershwin, it's a style, certainly, and it's very word-oriented, but the style is much towards classical and legit than other things, perhaps. The only thing I would say, and I would suggest to you, because it goes on and it repeats, and because I can see you have an amazing sense of humor, I mean, you're wearing a that's a pineapple.
Very Cuban, yes.
Yeah. So I would say you can take it away and into more character voice sometimes, so ridiculous, like sometimes like this, and like sometimes, and all kinds of things. You can make all kinds of changes, and you don't want to overdo it, but it does give us a sense of how ridiculous it is, right?
Yeah.
And how ingenious it is, but also that it's not just beautifully sung. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like you're an opera singer singing this piece. I don't. I just think you could go a little bit further in bending the sound.
Okay.
So just for example, let's go here. It's just another rumba, right? So this is the first time about 83 times you say the same thing.
Yes.
So if you were to speak this in the rhythm, just go ahead and speak that rhythm.
It's just another rumba.
Good, now give me a really gnarly character voice. Make it up.
It's just another rumba.
Right, and now make a different one.
It's just another rumba.
So by the way, every one of those is a different registration, right? And so you see, you know all these already, because you know how to make all these voices, you know how to you may not know how you're doing. So she just did twang, and she just did chest voice and that kind of thing. So I would take it and I would move into this area and just play with it, right?
Okay.
So that you really feel like you're on the edge of just letting go, right? I mean, I love the fact that you're moving so beautifully and all that kind of thing, but you might just imagine as you work it and you use 64 of the chords, right? 64 chords, not just 6. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. right? So it used to be in crayons. You used to get them in a big box of 64. This was the big deal, right? Okay, she's like that. So and then there was a smaller box of 12 crayons, right? So I'm saying take the 64 and go all over the place, right? So when you look at, as you go on and you look at this kind of treatment in this kind of piece, you don't want to be so predictable that you use a different voice on every different verse. I don't mean that. But for example, if you take a word like this, I'm a wreck. Why did I have to succumb? And you get the buzz off of it. Then you really realize, what's going on in the text. We get so wrapped up in the rhyme scheme that we forget what the words are behind the rhyme, behind the buzz. Can you imagine anything dumbler? Why did I have to succumb? So if you take the buzz off, then you're left with a real monologue, right? So could you look at, just for example, I am this one here. So, yeah, but I'd like you to speak it, right? But I would like you not to go to the rhyme scheme. I'd like you to speak it with the inflection that an actor would.
I'm the cucaracha who just went blah.
Yeah.
And I gave up swinging hotcha.
So you understand, then you start to inflect differently. You may not know what that means, right? But she starts to inflect differently because she's not going to the rhyme. You always know in classical singing, I'll give you a little hint. When the person is singing more, or a French melody, right? And they're always singing just to the end of the verse to where it rhymes without any inflection whatsoever. You know that they don't really know what they're talking about, so don't do that. So when you look at this, we get so wrapped up that we don't find the little kind of nuances of the speech, right? So you just did that. Let's now add the notes to it. And I'd like you to just feel like you pull the words out of the line, right? It's yeah.
I'm the cucaracha who just went blah and gave up swinging hotcha. At first it was divina, but it turned out a Cuban Frankenstein.
So that would be a choice. You have to be careful. You can see you don't overdo it. So you don't bludgeon people with your choice, right? Right? You have to make it. Look, all of this to a certain extent with musical theater in general, all these styles and all of these registers and all of these changes, it, as I said, is in service to the emotion, the communication, but it takes, you have to think ahead. You have to know what you're going to do. It's not like you're just divinely inspired to make all of these noises, right? So you're going to look at this and think, all right, I like to do it this way, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently the next time. And then go back and make sure that it's connected to what you're saying. So as we move forward on that and away from all cucaracha, I'm so sorry about the glasses, but this is the way it goes. You have something to look forward to. Okay, so I read this one.
It brought me woe and strife. It made me lose my wife.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with cucaracha, right? Right. We're in a completely different line. So this would call for a different reading. Your voice is just gorgeous and beautifully positioned and so resonant. And I don't want to mess with it too much, but I think that there's room for a little tweaking, right? So then right here, it's the rumba that blighted my life, right? Okay, so the other trouble is that there's words in here that are not really clear to your audience, right? And so you might look at those words and see that you want to pull those out, or do something a little bit extra to make it very clear. I'd like to look at page 334, the second system, the second measure. Can you imagine, right? Can you sing that now? What are you saying? Can you imagine anything dumber? Why did I have to succumb? So can you imagine, right? The is a long note value, so it's got to have all of the meaning all the way, like we said this once before. But she's asking a question, right? So when you have an exclamation point as opposed to a question at the end of a line, it changes the inflection. It changes the way that the voice reads, right? So it's a question, right? Now would you just read this?
Can you imagine anything dumber?
Right, so now that's going to help you maybe make some different decisions. Now add the notes. Let it inflect that way.
Can you imagine anything dumber?
So we have to really be very mindful of rhythm. We can't just do what we want to. But within the rhythmic context, which is repetitive here, we find ways to just out and to do some different things. When you have an idea about what you want to say, on the breath that you take before the phrase, the voice will come out in making sounds that are more appropriate to what you mean. When you have a verse that goes over and over the same melody, and the same, you get a little bit stuck, even though your stuck is like amazing, right? I mean, all these voices I'm hearing today is crazy. Like, it's so beautiful. Yeah. All right, I'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.